Hey FlossTube, it's Donna Ray coming to you from Flannel Jammies Farm for episode 2 on my channel. I am just filled with so much gratitude. You guys have given me such a warm and wonderful welcome to the FlossTube community. I am so grateful. I wanted to especially thank some of you who gave me a shout out on your FlossTube channels. Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42, thank you so much. Lynette at Homesteading on the Homefront, thanks Lynette. Michelle Garrett, Bendy Stitchy, thank you Michelle. And Andy at Nana's Needles, thank you Andy. And Priscilla and Chelsea, thank you so much. Yes, it is true that I squealed in my stitchy spot when I was shouted out by Priscilla and Chelsea, so little confession from me. I also want to thank those of you who gave me a shout out on Instagram and asked other people to kind of give me a look. I really appreciate it. So many of you did that, and thank you. I'm so grateful. I wanted to give a few charming mentions to some FlossTubers. Not really shout outs. I don't want to shout at my friends, so just some charming mentions. First of all, I'd like to mention Jay at Mortuary Stitches. When I first found FlossTube, Jay was one of the first people that I saw, and I fell in love with her. Her humor, her beautiful art, her constant bickering with Alexa, Millie and Bindi. I just love you guys so much. If you haven't seen Jay at Mortuary Stitches, give her a look. She is just a lovely person. Second, I wanted to talk about my friend Beth Twist of Heartstring Samplery. She's on FlossTube as Bee Twistable. Beth is a wonderful designer, and she gave us the opportunity to learn how to do those little darling strawberries without a sewing machine. She did a tutorial on FlossTube where we actually created the strawberry along with her. She did it real time, by hand, and it was so easy. Thank you, Beth. We appreciate that. And last but not least, Elena B. Girl, thank you for your passion for this FlossTube community. I appreciate it. I know others appreciate it. Thank you for the oranges on your ceiling. Thank you for your gorgeous red lips. Thank you for taking us to Paris with you, to see where you were going, to follow you around, and to see all of your wonderful stitchy acquisitions. Thanks so much. I also want to mention a few newbies who, like me, are just starting out in FlossTube. I've seen them the last week or so, and I just wanted to tell you about them so that you could go and give them a subscription too. The first one is Gulf Coast Stitcher. She was encouraged by her friend Melly Ellie Stitches to begin a FlossTube channel. She listened, and we are so glad you did. Secondly, Long Dog Stitcher. Such beautiful works that you have. Thanks for sharing those. Cupcake Stitcher, who is so adorable. And Ivy House Crafter, who has so many different crafts and lots of little helpers who are adorable. And lastly, Amy Loves Toads, who is a fellow Virginian, and I'm just glad to see her on FlossTube. Welcome to all of you. It's a great and welcoming community, so we're glad you're here too. Today we're in my stitchy spot. This is my little, just my size stitchy chair, and it has an ottoman. If you ask Laura Duet on Instagram, who is Maud and Mozart, she will tell you just how not tall I am. And so finding a chair that fits me is a big hunt. And so finally found one, and it's just right. Just like in the Three Bears, right? One was too big, one was too little, one was just right. This chair is just right. So beside me are all of my stitchy things. So I've got my Daylight lighted magnifier that just comes right over to help me see to stitch. I cover it with a little cloth, it's an antique hanky, during the day, because light streaming into the window through a magnifier is a recipe for a fire. And I know of a couple of tragedies that have happened that way. So if you have a magnifier light, always cover it when it's not in use. This thing is great. It comes with a couple of different magnification lenses, and it's LED, bright, right? So it really helps me see to stitch. I can't see without this light. I have a travel one that goes with me when I go off to stitch at retreats and with friends, so I always have one. I've got all my little tools. I've got my bee pin cushion. I've got my, excuse me, got my little corner gauges so that whether I want a 2-inch border or a 2.5-inch border, an inch border, these kind of help me gauge. I put it right at the corner of my fabric, and they help me gauge just how far from the corner to begin my stitching. I've got my little pottery cup, thank you Robert, my son, my little pottery cup of needles, lots of different varieties. Got my ort jar, it says snippets, isn't it cute? Oh my goodness. I've got my orts in there and the scissors that I use most frequently. And then I've got beeswax waxers. This is wax from our honeybees, and it's cleaned and beautiful, and I use that to wax my threads sometimes when I'm stitching. So I keep all of my needle minders on the arm of my Stitchy Light, and they're always at hand when I need them. I have tried desperately to like Q-snaps. I see all of you using Q-snaps. They seem great, and I just can't like them. I've tried and tried and tried. I do need a hoop of some kind because it helps me, the tension helps me to see the fabric so that I can stitch a little bit easier. So I generally use either my scroll frame, thank you husband for getting me a scroll frame, or I end up using a hoop. Now my favorite hoops are yeah, I have one or two, are vintage Duchess hoops. These are wonderful, and you'll see right here it says Duchess, right? These are usually found on eBay or sometimes on Etsy, sometimes at antique sales, garage sales, and they're just two wooden hoops that generally have been worn to this wonderful hand feel. And they fit together just perfectly, right? And the inner one has a felt lining, and that's what holds your fabric when you put the hoop on. And you would think that that wouldn't be enough tension to hold it, but it is. And it holds it nicely and also doesn't leave those permanent hard hoop marks in your fabric, right? So I have different sizes, and I have this darling little oval one. Isn't it precious? I use it all the time, and I keep those over here in my little basket beside my stitchy chair. I've got a little frogging tool over there too. I don't want the frog to visit, but I'm happy to have a tool beside me if I need it. All right. The other things I need beside me in my stitchy spot are really important. They are my ottoman and my TV remote and my Roku remote, because I need to watch FlossTube on the big screen, right? Right. And usually an electric blanket and my dog Scarlet. So add a little nice cup of tea to that, and it's just about the perfect spot on the planet. Now, let's get to the stitching, right? Because that's what we're here for, yeah? Okay, finishes. I don't have many. I am a very slow stitcher. It's true. I should walk around with a big letter S for slothful stitcher. That's exactly what I am. But I'll show you a couple of finishes. Here we go. This first one was a free chart from Tish at the Jane Austen Reading and Stitch Along group on Facebook. Our goal is to read the Jane Austen novels and to stitch pieces to go with. So the first novel was going to be Sense and Sensibility, one of my very favorites. And I stitched this piece on some mystery greenish funky linen, and I did it in silk. And it's, of course, Eleanor Dashwood. I will be calm. I will be mistress of myself. Love this piece. Next we have, this again was a free chart. This was from Beth at Heartstring Samplery, and it's Give Thanks. My husband went on a business trip in November, and I said, oh, I want to tag along. And so I did, and I wanted to do this piece. It was November, right? So I wanted to do this piece, and I went and got Weeks Dye Works wools to do it in. And I'm telling you, it was the first time I used wools, and I loved them. They're so warm and cozy and just beautiful to stitch with. That was great. Turned out sweet. Okay, now, FFOs. I have one to show you that I adore. I just think it's the cutest thing ever. I was stitching Spring Frolic at Bunny Hill by Brenda Gervais. I did it with the called for threads, and I did it last year, but I chose a pink linen. R&R Reproductions did a beautiful linen called In the Pink. Now, if you know Spring Frolic at Bunny Hill, it's kind of a round design. And I was at Hobby Lobby, I knew I wanted to do something a little different with it, and I found this oval clock, right? But it was a round design. So I went ahead and added a few little spring picks that were just sweet and dark. So, without further ado, I give you Spring Frolic at Bunny Hill. Isn't it wonderful? So I put it inside this clock. I added the little, just sweet little floral picks at the top. And I just love it. I think it's going to be the sweetest piece to hang in my home. You know, when you're looking around at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or AC Moore or wherever it is that you find your things, think outside the box. Look at something different. It's not quite Priscilla-fied, but it's kind of Priscilla-fied. Priscilla, I hope you're proud of me. Chelsea, I hope you're proud of me. Here it is. Okay, so on to whips. So many. Oh my goodness. I'm only going to show you a few. I won't keep you all day, I promise. The first one is an old one. In the year 2000, our son Robert went off to the College of William and Mary, and we were so happy for him and loved to visit Colonial Williamsburg, and so I thought, I'll get this beautiful booklet, right? Shadows of Williamsburg, and I'll take some of the elements and I will go ahead and stitch this lovely piece that includes the flag that flies on top of the Wren building on the campus, right? So 18 years ago, I started this, right? And I have no idea what fabric it's on. It's white. I have no idea what thread I used. It's black. There are horrible hoop marks on it because it stayed in the hoop that whole time in a box in my life. And these little marks at the top, yeah, that's where I left a needle in there and it rusted. So I will finish this. I really will. My son graduated many years ago, so I probably need to finish it soon, right? I think so. The basket of shame. Okay, next, I wanted to show you For a Snowfall. Priscilla and Chelsea have this as a stitch along, and it's lovely. It's just lovely. I actually won this chart from a giveaway from Priscilla and Chelsea. Thank you so much again. And I have a small start on it. A very small start on it. Here it is. I'm loving it. It really is just the sweetest thing. I'm doing it on 32 count weathered shingles from R&R Reproductions. It's a beautiful linen. Oh my goodness. And I think it's going to turn out very, very nicely. It's a tiny start, but I'll get there, right? Okay, next. Remember watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer as a child, and maybe as an adult. I still do. So I loved Yukon Cornelius. Remember, he would stick his pickaxe in and he'd lift it out. Nothing. I loved him. Oh my gosh, just loved him. He dragged the bumble in. Oh, it was wonderful. So Beth did this free chart called Yukon's Christmas List. It's fabulous. It's so fabulous. She says, I was always especially fascinated with Yukon Cornelius, that interesting, strange, and indestructible gold prospector that finds Rudolph and Hermie out in the snowy wilderness. Just lovely. Little chart is a gift from me to all of you and other Yukon fans out there, and contains a simplified version of his famous life-sustaining supplies list, as stated to his new misfit friends. Oh, well, now I'm off to get my life-sustaining supplies, cornmeal and gunpowder and ham hocks and guitar strings. I'll give you a lift. Hop aboard, mateys. Oh my gosh, I just love it. So I've started on it. Oops, here we go. Powder and tar strings. I'll get there. I'll get there, I promise. And it's beautiful. When done, you can make it into a drum. I think it's just going to be the sweetest thing. This little needle minder is from Scott and Remy. They're on Etsy. They make the nicest needle minders. They're fabric covered on both sides. Each side is a different but coordinating fabric. They're just lovely. I really, really like them. This one, I wish that I could remember what it's done on. I know that I changed the colors to Weeks Dye Works Merlot and Blue Spruce. And I keep it in my Made by Mama Joan Donna Ray bag. I had written to Mama Joan and asked her, would it be possible to do a smaller bag that a half sheet folded pattern would fit in, but right side up instead of laying down, zipper at the top? And she said, I think we can do that. And so God bless her, she made this bag for me and then started doing them for everybody. I think they're just the sweetest bags. They're really a nice size. Check out Made by Mama Joan. All right. Next is the very first offering in the Dying to Stitch Quaint Country Ladies Club. This is another of Dying to Stitch's great clubs. It'll be 4 times a year, and it features the wonderful designs of Wendy at Pineberry Lane. Just love her things. The thing I love about the Dying to Stitch kits is they come with everything. There's the chart, there's the linen, there's Scarlett barking her head off. Chart and linen and threads on this beautiful thread card, and all of the finishing materials and the finishing instructions. It's really great. Oh my goodness. Not sure what that is, but she'll tell us all about it. So here it is, Quaint Country Ladies. This one is called Woolen Flax, and it features this adorable shepherdess, right? And she's got her sheep who's bearing this beautiful basket. I'm, again, slothful. I'll get there. The thing I wanted to tell you about this is I'm kind of a cross-country stitcher. Even with overdyed threads, I still get variegation, but I will stitch all of the first leg of my X's across the row, and then I'll go back. Sometimes I do 1 stitch at a time, but usually I do it that way. And most often I'm a horizontal stitcher, okay? I tend to, just to add a little bit of interest, I'll pick one element in the design and I will stitch it vertically instead of horizontally, and it just adds a little bit of interest to your eye. What I did in this piece is I did her skirt. Everything else is horizontal, but I did her skirt with vertical stitches. And it made sense to me that that's how the stripes in a skirt would go, right? So that's what I did. You might try it. Adds just a little bit of something, something. Okay, and I keep that one in another Made by Mama Joan bag. This one's got these gorgeous beehives on it. Oh my gosh, aren't they beautiful, bee skeps? Yeah, be still my beekeeper heart. All right, last whip for today, and this one is incredibly special to me. When Paulette came to the Dying to Stitch retreat in the fall to do a very special Plum Street design for us, she also brought along one of her new charts, Friends of the Heart. It's stunning. She brought the model with her and everyone just fell in love with it. I mean, this little fox at the bottom, he's everything. He's just lovely. The colors are stunning. It is amazing in person. And so we all just kind of fell in love with it. I'm doing it as a stitch along with darling friends Ann Robbins, Pat Ryan, and Donna Wynn. We all got together. We chose our colors. We're all doing different fabric colors and fabric counts. We picked our threads and we got them all together. I have photographic proof of that day. Here we are starting our stitch along. Isn't that lovely? Keep it right here. So they of course are speedier than I am, as is always the case. But here is my start on Friends of the Heart. I'm telling you, these colors are amazing and it just is such a fun stitch. I'm doing it on a 32 count creme brulee from R&R Reproductions. Again, my needle minder is from Scout and Remy. I actually got one for each of the ladies. What we've decided to do, which is why there are some blank spots up here, we have decided each one of us is going to choose one motif. We've already chosen them, to stitch on the other three ladies' projects. And that way it becomes a truly shared journey. We will have each other's stitching on our pieces for all time. That to me is such a gift. Now, in the meantime, Andy from Nana's Needles has joined us on this journey, and so she's making great progress. I will catch up with all of you, I promise. I'm keeping that in this beautiful bag from So Much to Love. Isn't it gorgeous? Again with bees and bee skeps. Just a lovely, lovely bag. All right. Okay, so plans. I have so many things kitted up and ready to stitch. I have so many things with fabric that I just need to get the floss and get ready to stitch. I have so many things that I want to kit up and stitch right away. But first has to come, as we all know, Farmhouse Christmas, right? Little House Needleworks Farmhouse Christmas. So cute! Oh my goodness, it's the best. I have the first one. I have my fabric. I'm going to be doing it all on one piece. I'm going to be doing it on a 32 count creek bed from R&R. And I think it's going to be gorgeous. When you do them all in one piece, there's a little square in the middle that's a quilt square, and I think it's called Grandma's Quilt. My darling friend Lynette at Homesteading on the Home Front recently hit 1,000 subscribers. As a gift for her subscribers, Lynette designed 4 new options for that center quilt stitched piece. Now, that alone is a wonderful gift, but she went the extra step and named the quilt squares after floss tubers. So there's a Kelly's quilt, because you know Kelly started all the quilt off, right? And there's a Jenny's quilt, which is the Missouri Star, and there's a Chelsea's quilt, which is a hens and chicks square. And then as she was discussing all of this and getting toward the end of it, there was also a Donna Ray's quilt. And it's this beautiful square that features a honeybee pattern. Was I ugly crying when she was telling about this design? You betcha. Was I so proud of her and so happy to know her as my friend as she was telling about it? You betcha. As I understand from Lynette in her video, there are 4 more squares to come. You can stitch them up individually. They'd be adorable ornaments. You can stitch them up, choose one and stitch it as part of your farmhouse series, or all of them. I'm kind of hoping I can stitch them all into a little stitched quilt. What do you think? We'll see. So again, plans, you know, stitch all the things, right? Stitch everything. I think that's a good idea. So lastly, I wanted to give you a little urban homestead moment. We love YouTubers Art and Bree. They have a lovely homestead with cows and chickens and children and absolutely beautiful lessons along the way. I love that Art at the end of each video says, "It's been another great day on the homestead." Oh, I love that. Art invited us out in TV land, to join him in making fermented sauerkraut. So last week he put out that he was going to be doing this. He was going to be filming himself going through the very simple process of fermentation, and invited us all to come along. Buy a head of cabbage, get yourself some salt, get a quart jar. You can do this. Well, we did. We thought, we're in. 2 thumbs up, we're in. So we got ourselves our quart jar from our pantry jars behind me. And we went through the process together. Now I had asked for the Kraut Source fermentation lid for Christmas and actually got it. And so we used our Kraut Source lid, but here is our jar of kraut happily fermenting. Oh, it's going to be delicious. We will taste it in 1 week. If we like it, we'll put it in the fridge and eat it. If we think we'd like it to ferment a little bit longer, we'll let it go a little bit longer. This is a great journey. If you want to try some homesteady things, check on YouTube. There are some wonderful YouTubers out there showing you how to can and showing you how to ferment and showing you how to raise chickens. It's wonderful. I absolutely love it. Art and Bree, thank you very much for the lesson. All right. Again, I'm so grateful for each of you. I'm so thankful that you took the time to tune in to share a bit of your day with me. I'm thankful for all of the subscribers and all of the thumbs up, even the thumbs down. I'm delighted at your comments. If you have questions, if you want to comment on something that I've shown or something that I've done, leave me a comment. I'll do my very best to get back to you quickly. and maybe share some of the questions in our next episode. Next episode, I'll have a few things and also a giveaway. I thought to myself when I started this journey, oh, someday when I'm 65, I'll have a giveaway when I hit 500 subscribers. That happened the first week. And so I've got a little something special in mind. Tune in next time and I will have information on a very special gift for one of you. Again, I'm happy to spend this time with you, and I invite you to be the kindness and the grace that you want to see in our world. Bye-bye.
If I just say the words, is that enough to make them true? If I just say the words, will you know that I love you? I try to open up my heart so that you can see the truth. If I just say the words, will you know that I love you? Yes, I do, I love you. You're one word short of laughter, another shy of pain. One day it's all sunshine, and the next day it's all rain. I try to prove how much I love you. Sometimes there's nothing I can do. So when I say the words, please know that I love you. Yes, I do, I love you. I look at you, you're sleeping. You said your prayers and hugged me tight. You're lying there just a dreaming and taking train rides that last all night. I cannot prove how much I love you. I know there's nothing I can do. My heart will be with yours forever. Always know that I love you. Don't you know I love you? Oh, yes, I do now. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Don't you know I love you? Oh, yes, I do.